lady tried taking my kids from me, which it didn't work. Because she wanted to know where I was, and nobody was giving her information about where I'm at. So they went to my kid's school, and then they came here, and I got a knock at the door. This was right when I got here, like 8 months ago. And there was a knock, and they said, "This is so-and-so with CPS." And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And I started crying. I said, "Never in my life have I ever had CPS involved." And she's like, "I'm not here to take your kids away. I'm not here to do that." And we were just talking and stuff. And I said, "I don't live in that house anymore." She pretty much threw me and my kids out. And then she wanted to call you on me. That is so bizarre. And she looked around in the room, and she talked to my kids at their school, and everything was fine. And the case was closed. So not only did she make us homeless, but she wanted my babies taken from me. Like, really? Like, you don't do shit like that. That is so weird. I'm so mad. I'm still so mad about it. Because the house wasn't fully cleaned out. Oh, I don't care. You're gonna make me and my kids homeless. You're giving me this amount of time to get all my belongings out of the house. I couldn't do it. I couldn't get everything out in that short amount of time. Yeah, I didn't own that home. I rented it. And one of the doors were off the hinges. I was gonna fix that too, but she wouldn't give me more time. She wanted us out. Yeah, she's super evil. And that was right after I had like my son. Oh, thank you, Night Star. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you. Yeah, my neighbors, like, I would be standing outside, and one of the neighbors yelled out of her window, "Quit recording me. If you got something to say it to my face." I said, "Bitch, I'm not recording you. I'm on the phone." So I said, "What did you say?" Because she was hanging out her window, and she pulled up her driveway. I said, "That was silly. You could have literally got out your car and came to talk to me like a woman." So I walked it on her property, and I said, "What did you say?" And she wouldn't say anything. I said, "I ain't recording you. I'm on my phone. First of all, I recorded your husband's truck. That's what I did, because he keeps blocking my fucking driveway." And she went in her house and called the non-emergency number, called the police, and the police spoke to the management, talking about, "I'm harassing her, I'm doing this and that." But she came on my property asking me, this was the first time when I was pregnant, "Don't be recording my husband's truck or recording anybody." I said, "I could do what I want. Tell your husband to stop blocking my driveway." And then she wanted to yell out of her front window like a fucking weird hillbilly. So I confronted her, but she called the cops on me. But I didn't call the cops on her when she stepped foot on my driveway, and came up to me. It's so weird, like a bunch of tattletales and shit. I told you guys before, like, I would have my kids' pool outside. They would tell. And they would go to management. I had my kids' bikes outside. "Oh, her kids' bikes are out here. They're not supposed to be out here." Just a bunch of petty shit. So they wanted me gone, because I kept getting complaints about me. People kept complaining. It wasn't fair. And the second I left, the management had my neighbors go into my house to look at it, to look at everything I left there. And they were recording my house. They were putting it online. I said, "Really? This is what you do? I leave here and you're inviting all these assholes that got me and my kids pretty much thrown out of here, and you let them into my house? Weird. Very unprofessional." Yeah. They want to talk about how my house was. Yeah, I did a video about Brittany She was my neighbor who her kids would always come over to my house. I have that video pinned. I used to feed her kids. I let the kids play in my pool. I let the kids play with my kids' toys. I fed them every day. And then the one day the dad ordered a whole bunch of pizzas and didn't bother to like give my kids any. And I was like, that's kind of like sad. Like the boys had to go home to eat pizza, but you couldn't drop a box off to my kids after like I feed your kids all the time and your kids are literally over at my house from 7 in the morning till like 6 at night, you know? And then they made it a joke. Like, if this is about a pizza, I'll buy you one. I'm like, no, it's way more than that. You guys are fucking assholes and you guys are neglectful. And then they wanted to say, delete Mamagorda900, she's a liar and this and that. I said, no, I'm not. And that went on for a little bit. But it was weird. That place I lived at, it was like I lived in a modular home. So it's like a nice trailer park, but they're like modular homes. And everybody in there was either racist, just mean. Like this old man at the corner, he would just stare at us all day long. And I'm like, hi. Like, you know, he would never say hi to my kids. So I said he was acting like a pervert. And the neighbors were like, oh yeah, he's like the watch of the town. He just sits out there and watches. I feel safe with my kids out there. I said, really? I don't. Because he's mean and all he does is stare. But I get kicked out, you know? And I know some of them are writing on my videos like, oh, she's lying or this and that, you know, because they don't want nobody to help me. And it's the same. Yeah, my son was, 5 months when we had to leave there. Let me see. November. Holy shit. Yeah. No, he was like 3 months. So yeah, that's why I made a wish list, you guys, and it's in my bio. I don't know if I should put anything else up there. The main things I really need is clothes for my kids and that damn scooter. I put that scooter up there because that scooter, I don't have a car or whatever. So trailer, huh? But yeah, I don't have a car. So I put like a scooter up there. That way I could go to the stores, go to my doctor's appointments. Hey. Hang on, guys. I'm right here still. This is crazy. When your teeth are sensitive, new Sensodyne Repair creates a protective shield over those exposed areas that can help repair sensitive areas of teeth after 60 seconds. I recommend Sensodyne Clinical Repair. Yeah, so that was pretty fucking horrible. So do you guys have any other like ideas of what I should put on my wish list? Out here, no. I've literally applied at every income-based apartment. They do have another trailer park. I've applied there. It's like no housing here. Hi. I'm staying at a motel right now. Yeah, it is crazy. I don't know how I'm ever going to get ahead at all. Hi. Hi. Yes, I do have a little bit of room for my stuff. Do I have Snapchat? You guys, I'll be back on in a few minutes, okay?
Go.